Good evening. My name is Mark Hool, the Athletic Director. I, along with the Attleboro Varsity Booster Club, would like to welcome our student athletes, families, Principal Campbell, coaches, and guests to our Spring Varsity Jacket Night. We did have an outstanding spring season with new school records, league championships, and several state tournament individual and team accomplishments that our coaches will briefly talk about this evening. Tonight we are here to really recognize our student athletes. You're the student athletes in your accomplishments and contributions to Attleboro High School. Whether you're a sophomore, junior, or a recent graduate, you have engaged, challenged, and inspired our school community with your athletic achievements. By receiving the varsity jacket, you are now part of a long-standing list of AHS tradition. For the past 60-plus years, through the fundraising efforts of the Attleboro Varsity Booster Club, varsity jackets have been awarded at no cost to our student athletes. Tonight, we are very proud to award 44 varsity jackets. But first, before we announce all of our recipients, we'd like to thank the leadership of the Attleboro Varsity Booster Club. Tara Irwin, Kelly Crawley, Christine Hanrahan, Diane Silva, concession chairs Melanie Silva, Jess Kettle, and tonight's jacket coordinators, Kristen Hool and Jen Riley. Thank you very much. And to all of our coaches, our head coaches are all here this evening, our assistant coaches, our volunteer coaches, the amount of support that and the opportunities that they give our student athletes every day to put on the uniforms and represent Attleboro High School. So a nice round of applause for all of our coaches. As we get the program going, when the first group of athletes come up, you're going to stand off to the right when your head coach comes up, and then we'll be announcing individually. So that will be happening soon. But before we do that, we want to turn it over to our principal, Mrs. Campbell.
Thank you, Mr. Hool. It is a really exciting night and opportunity. Anytime that we can gather in the Bray Auditorium here in our beautiful new school, it really celebrates who our students are and who they are both inside our building and beyond these walls. And for me, when I've learned what these jackets represent, it's about community. It's about our Varsity Booster Club saying, hey, these kids are important. And varsity jackets are acknowledging all of the hard work that they've done. And for the Varsity Booster Club to make that a possibility for all of our students to be able to have one of these varsity jackets is a real testament to their loyalty. It's also about community in the coaches. As Mr. Hool said, it's hard to define what a coach does, similar to how it's hard to define everything that an educator does. Coaches work tirelessly, and it's on the weekends, not just during games and practices, but it's caring about their players, who they are as learners, as humans. So I really want to follow up with Mr. Hool and his comments that thank you to all of the coaches for all that you do. So I really want to say thank you. To the families, I know it's not always easy before your child gets a license. All the practices that you drive to, all the times that you sit at swim meets and at softball games and at baseball. What other seasons do we have today? We've got lacrosse, we've got tennis, we've got track and field. But all of those events that you attend and not only drive to, but that you go to, it makes a difference for your children. So thank you for not only what you did this season, but all of the seasons leading up to this season. So thank you to all the families and the grandparents, the aunts and uncles. And most importantly, I want to celebrate our students. We have some of the most amazing humans here at Attleboro High School. And when I see the leadership of our athletes, both on the field and courts and in their area of expertise, I see it also in our classrooms and in our hallways. So I want you to remember that. All of our students here tonight, you're leaders. You are examples. And the way you treat one another on your team, the way you respect your coaches and your opponents, it means a lot, and it is noticed. So for all of you who continue to go out every day and do the best that you can, win or lose, you continue to present yourself as really someone who represents our school and our core values. I want to thank all of our students. And now for the important part. I think we're going to begin with Coach Dunley.
Thank you. I always get to start. I try to keep it short and sweet, and then by the time it gets to Coach Whitefield, he's got some poetry and long-winded stuff. So first off, I'd like to thank Ms. Campbell and Mr. Houle for their support. Mr. Houle especially dealing with all the random texts about bus times, et cetera. And then I'd also like to thank the AVBC. As you can see, this is a huge undertaking. A lot of work goes into this, and this is something very special that I don't think any other school around here does. So we're very lucky to have this opportunity for our athletes. So without any further ado, a little bit about our season. We ended up 9-12 this year. We ranked 25th in Division I. We play, as most of you do, in the Hawkmock Leagues, which is one of the most difficult leagues in all of the state. Baseball is particularly difficult. In our division alone, we had 4 top 25 finishers in Division I and 2 top 25 finishers in D2. So all the teams in the Kelly Rex made the playoffs and were ranked very high. So these kids battle day in and day out. 9-12 is a very, very good record with that difficult of a schedule. So first up, this student or this player no one has worked harder or overcome more injuries or more things to earn this jacket. This is a true testament to his perseverance. I'm very pleased to award this jacket to Dylan Jackson. This next player has been a huge part of the culture of Attleboro baseball for 4 years. His love of the game and the respect of his teammates is unmatched. I'm very proud to give this letter jacket to Tim Brusso. This next player, a junior, was a huge part of our pitching staff this year, and he is poised for a big senior year on the mound next year. We are very much looking forward to what he can do. Ethan Palmer. Next player is one of the hardest working players I think I've ever coached. I've watched him over the years grow into a varsity catcher through his dedication to the position and his desire to get better every day. Next up, junior Antonio Bennett. Good. This next player stepped up this season as a huge part of our middle infield and one of our top hitters. We're looking forward to seeing what he can do with a year of varsity experience under his belt next year. Aiden Landers. This player burst on the scene this year as one of the top-of-the-line starters in the Hockomock League, finishing the year 2-0 with 1 save and a 1.1 ERA. He is going to be a force next year. Nicky Nails Daly. Next up, we have our 2 sophomores. The first one is earning his varsity jacket, gained valuable experience this year, and is going to be terrorizing the Hawk for the next 2 years, both on the mound and at the plate. Jeremy O'Hara. Last but not least, earning his second varsity letter, This player battled through a very tough year with health, but lucky for us, we have 2 more years with him. And with arguably one of the more talented two-way players to come through AHS, sophomore Ryan Landry. Now going to turn it over to Coach Homer in softball.
Hi, I'm Mark Homer, and I've been coaching here with the softball team, I think, for the last 9 years. One year runs into another, and I usually forget. I'd first like to repeat what Coach Dunleavy had said, and thanking Mr. Hull and Mrs. Campbell for their support. I know it's not easy from their end to keep us in line. We do the best we can. And obviously, the Attleboro Varsity Booster Club. I think it's really awesome what they do here to help represent the pride here at Attleboro High School. And I know the student athletes really appreciate it as well. Just a little bit about our season. Softball is no different than baseball as far as the competitiveness in the Hockomock League, especially in softball with the Kelly Rex division. For the past 3 years, we've had the Kelly Rex come out being state champions, Taunton being the state champion the last 3 years. It's a team that we've got to play twice. King Philip is another one. The whole Kelly Rex is really, really tough to go through. So when you end up being one of the top teams in the Kelly Rex, you end up being one of the top teams in Division I in the entire state. And the girls have represented that this year, last year, the year before that. Oh, I'm losing the microphone. The year before that as well. It isn't just a one-time thing. They've been very consistent through the year, and they've done it through hard work. These girls work 6, sometimes 7 days a week. They're out on the fields. They got to do their studies, sleep, eat, and listen to me, which is a lot. So I really appreciate the hard work that these girls put into it, because it really makes it a lot of fun to see the improvement over the year with these girls. This year, we've had some adversity that was thrown at us, but the girls didn't give up. Right to the end, we brought one of the top teams in the Hawk right to the end in extra innings this year. Haven't beaten that team yet, but came very close, had to go 8 innings before they ended up beating us. It was a really great game. It was an exciting game, especially for our program. But the more important thing is we've made a mark. When I first came here, we were the doormat of the league. We now finished 2nd place in the Kelly Rex in the entire Hawk this year. And that goes to the credit of the young ladies that play this game. I have 2 student athletes that I'm gonna call up to receive their jackets tonight. The first one is a sophomore. She's been playing since her first year as a freshman. She sort of made me a liar because she is one of our catchers, but I always said I would never catch a lefty catcher. But when I first saw her as a freshman, I was really impressed. Just the way she played the game, has one of the strongest arms on the team. And going into next year, because we're losing our other catcher, Riley Camacho, she's going to be busy behind, Nina's going to be busy behind the plate this year as well. She played a lot of center field for us, one of the stronger arms out there as well. So why don't you come on up? Oh, there she is over there. Nina. And the second young lady made one of the better decisions in her life coming to play for Attleboro High School. She left the dark side of Bishop Feehan. And thank God she did. This girl, one of the strongest hitters in the league this year. She had 4 home runs, batted over 460, and in one of the games ripped a grand slam, which I have never seen in my 9 years. So she was number 4 in our batting order, and she was consistent the entire year. You just felt so confident when she got up to the plate with runners on base. It made a difference in a lot of the games that we won this year. Victoria, parent. Thank you, everyone, for coming, and I'd like to turn it over to the boys lacrosse coach, James Black.
Evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. This is my first season here at Attleboro. I came up from Bishop Hendricken, so I'm understanding what it's like to be on the public side, Coach. And it is good to give those private schools as much as we can muster. We had what I deem a great season. Guys didn't know what they were coming into, and my biggest thing that I wanted to create was a bond, and guys who believed in themselves, guys who were fearless, guys who just worked, and I didn't have to do the last part. I talk about the first day I met a lot of them, and it was firm handshakes and great eye contact, and I went, wow, okay, if this is what this city's about, then this game is going to be great here. And we had a great season. We went 6-12, but for the first time in program history, we were a seeded playoff team as the 30 seed, and our guys gave everything that Acton-Boxborough could handle last week. I couldn't be more proud of how they acted during the entire season. They always had each other's back. I asked them to be each other's keeper, and they did nothing but respect one another and give everything to our game. So I want to say thank you to all of them. And we have some who have already received their jackets in the crowd supporting their teammates tonight, and I'm very proud of that. And we also have one of our assistant coaches, Hunter Andrewsian. I'd like to say thank you, Coach. A couple different pieces to our season. Several young men who will be receiving their jackets tonight were crucial, and they will continue to be crucial for next season. We were incredibly what I would call young, not in terms of maturity, but in terms of underclassmen. We graduated 6 seniors. All 6 of them had a huge impact on me as well as their teammates and the season. But our future is very, very bright. We gave Frank the best effort that this program's given against Franklin, who has been the king of the Hawk for lacrosse, and it is a monster of a league, Coach. And I couldn't have been prouder of the boys that afternoon, and every single day they came out and they wanted more and they kept working, and thank you guys. So without further ado, I'll go through our young men who are receiving their jacket tonight, and congratulations, gentlemen, seriously. First up, we have Jair Estrada Reyes. Jair has been on the team and has been a valued member. This year, he started out as what we call a D-pole or defenseman, and he found his way into being one of our starting defensive middies and made a massive impact on our program. Jair, congratulations. The next 2 young men spent much more time with Coach Andruzzi than they did with myself at times, but they were always consistent, and their growth showed by the end of the season. We knew we could depend on them to the utmost, and putting them into position last week on a very quick turn. Dylan Govey is first this evening. Dylan came and worked his tail off this season. He has big things ahead of him for this next this next year, and I'm very thankful I get to coach him. He dealt with some injuries at different points. I think we learned not to play, pass or shoot in the backyard at the Parnoses. But I'm very thankful that you're on this team and in this program, Dylan, and thank you for everything. The next young man that we have up is also a defenseman, Mason Cattell. Mason, we lovingly referred to lately as a rubber magnet. He is not afraid to step up and give his all, be in the truest sense of a defenseman. Not only take care of the toughest player across the sideline, but also step up in big spots. Mason grew a ton this year, not just in height, although he is a pretty big fella, but his skill set went off the charts, and I'm very proud of him, and I'm looking forward to a great senior year. Great job. This next young man has a very powerful left-handed shot, and from what I heard, he worked his absolute tail off all of the last 2 years to be the player he is today. Young man that when I first met him didn't have the confidence he does have today, and I'm very proud to say through his hard work, we were able to put him out as a starting attackman during the second half of our playoff game, and he came up huge for us, making several big passes, and I think that confidence has only brewed over the top. That's Dean Knutson. Dean. This next young man, he has dealt with a lot of individual attention. I think very highly of him. I think he's going to have a massive senior season. He probably has what I think is the most fun name to say on the team, and he's got a very powerful shot when he lets it rip. And that's Pavi Panos. Pavi, come on up. Great job. Guys, slide forward so I can see who's what. We have a massive junior class, so I apologize. Bear with me. Next is starting attackman, midfielder. He'll play wherever. His speed is like lightning. He's Logan Pembroke. He was second in total points with 27 on the season and had a big shot that really grew the confidence of our team in our playoff game against Acton Boxborough. Logan, congratulations. This next young man is never short of a joke. He is a terrific what we call two-way midfielder. He has made some big plays on the offensive and defensive side this season. He has kept a smile on my face when I thought my hair was going to get pulled out of my head, and I am very proud to coach this young man. I'm very thankful for him being on the team, and he has a very big senior year coming up as well. That's Michael Sawyer. Last but certainly not least, a young man who played through some adversity of injury at times this season and probably on our team defined the term grit. Someone who I think has been our steady hand at attack, and I'm very thankful. Our attackmen this year worked well together. They didn't quote unquote hunt for their shot. They worked together, and they believed that at the core It was we, not me. And that is Cameron Willard. He was 5th in total points on our team. Cam, congratulations. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you to all your parents, your guardians, your biggest fans, your heroes. I'd like to turn this over to Coach Shane Collins, the head coach for girls lacrosse.
First off, thank you to the Booster Club and the volunteers for all you guys do and keeping this tradition going every year for these kids. It's a great way to honor the athletes that we have here at school. I want to say thank you again to the parents for everything you do all season long, between the rides and washing the uniforms and the water bottle reminders before they go out the door in the morning. These kids wouldn't be up here without you either. A little bit about our season. We had another successful season this year. Might have been one of the strongest teams that we fielded here on the girls' lac side. We stepped up to a tougher schedule. Hawks always tough. We took on some more difficult out of conference opponents. We had Fian back in the mix again this year for a couple games. Bridgewater Raynham, they're always tough. Had a couple close ones, a couple close wins. Great opener against Fian. One of our coaches said, after that first game of the season, it felt like we won the championship. I mean, the way the girls played, right out of the gate. Against a very tough team, and I think it was freezing rain. It was about 35 degrees that day. It was nuts. That was one of the milestone games of the season, right off the bat. Lost a couple close ones. Canton and Mansfield come to mind. We had some 1-goal games against them, but the girls always came to compete each and every day. They worked their butts off at practice every day. They took the instruction that we gave them during the games. Kerry and I threw a lot at them this season. Different attacking patterns, different ways to defend. We really did throw a lot at this team, and they responded. At the end of the day, the girls finished 11-7, which was fantastic. Again, tough games. We reminded them yesterday before our playoff loss to Chelmsford that we do this thing because it's hard. It's a challenge, right? We do this for our opportunities for personal growth here. And these girls work their butts off. So again, I'm super proud of these girls for the way they played all season. We graduated 6 strong seniors this year. And we're certainly going to miss them, but what that means is opportunity, right? We got opportunities next year for a lot of girls to step up and impact, make an impact on this team. And it all really starts with the 4 young ladies standing on the side of the stage over here. So, real quick, we'll start. This first one here, she's an attacker. She plays on the right side for us, which means she has to shoot a lot with her left hand, which is typically not her strong side. But in just 2 years, she has clipped 100 goals, which is extremely impressive. She will be a big part of this team going forward. She works her butt off every day. I'm proud of her. Amelia Collins. This next girl, she hadn't even picked up a lacrosse stick until 2 years ago. Oops, sorry, me. Jump on there. There you go. Sorry, me. This next girl had not picked up a lacrosse stick for the first time until 2 years ago, right? No idea about the game. She's learning the game from scratch. She came to work every day. How do I say it? It's the lumps that our goalies take, the shots that they take, the shots that they step in front of and put themselves in front of, and the athleticism that they have is second to none. So my hat's off to all of our goalies. And the goalie receiving the jacket this year, Ava Gattoni. This next girl. Oops, sorry, Ava. Jeez, I gotta learn my lesson. All right, this next girl, hands down one of the fastest players on the field. She's very versatile. We tend to use her on the attacking side. Again, another lefty, valuable asset that we have. We also use her in the midfield if we need to because she can run for days. We also use her on defense if we need to because she will do whatever's asked of her, no questions asked. She's a great teammate. Again, one of the fastest kids on our team. That's Kaya Hannon. And finally, our last player, she is a midfielder for us. She probably logs more minutes on the field than I can think of maybe two who log right about the same amount of minutes as this kid. Rarely comes off the field. Plays both ways. She's strong on the attack side, very strong on the defensive end. She'll go on the circle if you ask her to take the draw. She plays really tough defense. Great kid. And again, she's another one. We'll do whatever you ask of her, or whatever's asked of her. And that is Abby Titmus. All right, and with that, I will turn it over to Coach Morris.
Thank you for having this opportunity to be able to coach your kids in boys tennis. This establishment, thanks to the Attleboro community, we have a brand new facility. I think our success as a team really came together from the new facilities. It motivated our teammates, our team. Last year, where Shashank was, Shashank Shadar, he's our one Varsity jacket winner this year. He has made a tremendous impact on our team. He may not know it because we have a talented team where it's very difficult, very challenging to play on the varsity spot on the team. And due to Shashank's drive and motivation, he's a tremendous player. I can't take a lot of credit for that because he's self-taught. He goes online. He looks it up online. He's also very strong academically. I hear with the kids on the team that if they need help in certain subjects, he's there as a teammate, not only on the court, but also academically. He's so well-rounded, and he's a very gifted player. We were very fortunate that he had the opportunity to choose boys tennis to spend his high school career. So I'd like to bring him up. Shashank has helped us to be back-to-back Hockomock champions. Last year we were 13-4, which was tremendous. This year we were 14-2 going in the playoffs. We played against Arlington. We ended up on the short end. We won two out of the 5 points against Arlington. So we took a nice bus ride to Arlington, and I'm very fortunate to have Shashank. Thanks. Congratulations. Are your parents in the audience too, Shashank? All right. I see them with the camera over there. Thank you very much. So I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome the girls tennis coach, Mr. Bill O'Reilly. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Let me just start off, like our other coaches, by thanking the Varsity Booster Club. This is my 10th year coaching the girls' tennis team. 10th one of these. It's been fantastic. Having administrators and leaders in the building like Coach Houle and Principal Campbell makes our jobs significantly easier and smoother. And, you know, all the texts that I have to send Mark about, you know, the bus did this, or where is the bus, or any of that. Yeah, he always goes along. So they're like, I need a case of tennis balls. They're all gone. I don't know what happened to them. That happens. I send that text twice a season. So this year, we fielded a really competitive team. We were in the playoff hunt right down until our last match against Franklin, who ended up going on to be the girls' Hawk champs. Finished with a record of 7-9, but in those 9 losses, instead of, you know, the usual story, the Hawk girls tennis teams are insane. Instead of the usual story being 0-5 against KP, 0-5 against Franklin, stuff like that, those were 2-3 losses that came down to a third set or a tiebreaker, or, you know, something that really shows some grit and determination from this team. And the member of the team getting her varsity jacket tonight is no exception for that level of grit and fight and determination. This is Jenny's 4th year on the team. She is one of the hardest working players that I've had the pleasure of coaching. She can manage a schedule like nobody else. I don't know how you fit everything that you do into a day. But Jenny is somebody that in the past I've been able to say, hey, I need someone to jump in at this doubles match. Can you do that? And she says, yes, absolutely, every single time. This year, she really got the opportunity to step into some more matches at the varsity level, including a big win against Milford at senior night that kept us in the playoff hunt right down to the end. She's somebody that always tries to help other members of the team, get the new players involved, get the freshmen involved. She's someone that, you know, I really hope that my underclassmen look up to, see what she does as a leader on this team, and then emulate it going forward. And we're going to miss her. So congrats, Jenny. And now I'm going to turn it over to Coach Whitefield with boys track.
Good evening. Everyone knows I'm loud, so I always push the mic away. First of all, I want to thank the Varsity Booster Club once again. I mean, you guys are amazing. Even this year, in addition to all the fundraising they do, we had our tri-meet this year during vacation we were hosting with North Attleboro and Fan. And, you know, here it is a weekday, and the Booster Club is there for us. They're there for Senior Day. They're there for everyone. And I just want to thank you for everything you guys do. I'm going to go a little out of order here, and I know she's going to be mad at me, but I want to thank Coach Sawyer, because I've done everything I could for the last 4 years to drag her behind to the track program. And we finally got her, and it was just, it was fantastic working with you, Darby. And thank God the boys and girls have totally been enriched by having you there. So thank you. I want to thank Principal Campbell. I want to thank Mark Houle for giving me this opportunity. I always thank Penny Cuffrey for putting up with me. and for sending me my reminders. I want to thank all of our parents. I'm going to thank our coaches, Coach Sawyer, of course, Coach Fitzy, Coach Hasenfuss, who's in the crowd, Coach Lockhart, Coach McNamara, Coach Bove, and Coach Neuendorf. I want to thank you all for all the help this year. And as all the coaches have said, this is literally a 6-7 day a week position. The season, the boys finished 7-0 on a dual meet season, including beating North Attleboro twice, which is very sweet. And also, they also beat Bishop Fan, and everyone knows how much a rival that is. So last year I calculated with that simple brain of mine what our average victory was, points of victory is 136 points in spring track, except for Franklin, which was literally down to the wire. The boys won by over 60 points every meet, so want to thank them and congratulate them. So in doing so, the boys won their third straight Kelly Rex division title and their second straight Hockomock League championship. The best part about it was, and he's our star here over there, Max. Best part about it, Max had been sick the week of Hawks. And, you know, it's tough going to the boys. Usually I try to lie and come up with ideas like, oh, this kid came from the Olympics, and this kid did this, and this kid did that, and he's going to crush you, and you guys better be ready. And I wasn't able to do that because they always find stuff online anyways. And then secondly, it literally was the morning of the Hawks. And I just said to the boys, I mean, you know, it doesn't have to come from me. It's just them. It's what they did. So you guys got to come together, do whatever it takes. And this is the one thing we've always tried to do is be a team. And this team won. And that was pretty damn good without their best athlete. So. We've had kids go on to divisionals, to states, with New England's next week or this week with Max. But we've had quite a few kids between javelin, hurdles, triple jump, long jump, relays. We've had kids pretty much advance all the way and finish one of the top teams in the state. So I'm very proud of them. So I'm going to start out with Adam Alderson. So Adam is one of our top javelin throwers on the team. And, you know, between Adam, Scotty, Kyle, and Hassan, those guys have come into their own. And they're all underclassmen. And it bodes well for the future. What's great about it is, I don't know, whatever. All of a sudden they got it. And all of a sudden, some of these kids, we all know how it is. We have to pressure these kids to put in that extra time. And these guys got it. And all of a sudden, they're the pains in the behinds when we're trying to clean up at the end of practice and they're still there. And that's a great thing. And it's all on their own. So Adam, first of all, Adam Alderson, one of our top javelin throwers. I've got two top short and long sprinters who are doing the same thing as these throwers, you know, between Victor Banks and Jake Fairweather. Victor has been with us for a few years now, and he's grown into, I try to think of him as a football player, and yet the kid's a hell of a sprinter. He's one of our top 100 and 200 sprinters, and it's no easy feat. So Victor Banks. Scotty Bennett. Sorry, my fault. As I mentioned, Scotty and Kyle really came into their own, and the effort they put in is amazing. Scotty has turned into one of our top discus throwers, including in the league. In addition to, he throws a hell of a shot put. And from little Scotty, now that I've got him for 3 sports between football and track, I'm very, very proud and very privileged to have him on my staff, on my team. So Ty Boswell. So Ty's, you know, and I love all these kids and they know it, but Ty's like a son to me. I work with him, you know, all winter, all spring. Those are some of the direct events that I coach. So between Sunday nights working high jump, and then in the winter with long jump, now him messing around with hurdles, and he's actually become one of the top triple jumpers in the state. And I'm very, very proud of him. And he has literally perfected his game. And I just want to say congrats, Ty. Jacob Fairweather. Jake, another, as I mentioned previously, between him and Victor, Jake has really come into his own. We're so used to his brother, Max, being previous captain of ours, being one of our top distance kids. All of a sudden now we got the younger brother who's become one hell of a sprinter. And, you know, it just, again, bodes well for the future. Jake was also part on the relay teams in addition to running the short sprints, which is the 100, and also long sprints, which is the 200 meters. So thanks, Jake Fairweather. Kyle McHugh, as I previously mentioned, Kyle has really come into his own. I'm used to Kyle from football. I don't coach him specifically that position, but I have worked with him in track. And then again, all of a sudden, he got it. He's like, holy mackerel, you know, I'm just putting words in, but he found out how good he can be. And he's literally turned into one of the top discus throwers in the league, and I'm proud of him, and we still got 2 more years. Kyle McHugh. Hassan Paul Walla. Hassan, again, like Adam, is one of our top jab throwers on the team and has silently or quietly become one of the top jab throwers in the league. He's been a hell of an addition. He works his behind off, and I just want to say congratulations. So Ethan thinks I'm probably going to bust his chops, but I'm not. Trying to do everything I can to steal him from Mark in the winter. I'm not accomplishing anything there. Ethan Viveros. Kid just shows up. He was part of the reason why we beat Franklin in that first meet. Kid just shows up. He's become one hell of a jumper. If he actually realized how good he can be in the spring, because he also started working on long jump, but really triple jump, he's become one of the top jumpers on our team. He finished second with our team. He made divisionals. I'm very proud of him. He's done a hell of a job. Ethan Viveros. Coach Sawyer.
Good evening. Coach Whitefield has worked really hard to get me to come out of I would say, 21-year retirement from coaching spring track, and it has been an honor with these women. As you've heard from all these coaches, the Hockomock League is probably one of the toughest leagues. The Kelly Rex division is definitely by far one of the best divisions in the state. And as we always keep saying, Franklin is phenomenal. These girls have gone against the top throwers, top hurdlers, top high jumpers and jumpers in the state in our league, which has also pushed them to be what they are. We had a 2-3 season, dual season in the Hawks. We had a 4-3 dual season for the spring. And we beat both North Attleboro and Bishop Fan during our vacation tri-meet, which I kind of wish we didn't go against North Attleboro, because I didn't think they realized how good we were. And then they decided they had to triple up some of their athletes, where I think they would have just walked in our dual meet season, and we would have beat them officially in the Hawks. But it was still a great season. We placed 7th overall in the Hawks. We had some illnesses, we had some injuries, where we had to move girls around, and they would do whatever the team asked for them. I will say the North Attleboro coach came up to me and was like, "What do you do to make these girls like you so much?" And I'm like, "Well, that's funny, because they constantly tell me how much they're afraid of me, so I am appreciative of that." It was a great year, and thank you so much, ladies. And what we have coming up to receive their jacket just shows you how successful the team will be, and I really look forward to what you girls can do in the future. So first up, we're going to go alphabetically by last name. Let's see if they can figure that out. Now, this first athlete, I think she wanted to kind of mirror me, even though I had the same injury she had when I was, 47, but was also a tremendous hurdler on the team, doing a hurdle drill, and went over the hurdle and unfortunately tore her ACL, which kind of took her out of the rest of the season. But next year you have so much ahead of you, and I'm really proud of you. Deborah Akinola. Did I say it right? Next up, this athlete is a silent person. She doesn't really speak much, but when she puts her heart into throwing, boy, can she throw. She had some great throws throughout the dual season. She really put an effort at divisionals. I know she wasn't impressed with what she did, but you have next year, and I know you can go places. Karen Aldana. Another thrower who has shown great efforts in discus, shot put, and javelin, and has changed around a couple of times of, no, I don't want to throw shot put today. I want to throw javelin, and would go out there and give her best. And if we needed her to really focus on shot put, she would do it. Samantha Churchill. This next sprinter, it's funny when we coach track, it's the same with coaching swimming. Everyone wants to do the shortest distance possible. And in outdoor track, it is the 100, and it's really hard to get girls to do the 200 and the 400 or even the 800. But Amira has, made it very clear that she wants to just do the 100 and, is a key part in the 100 and then also the 4x1. And Amira, if we can get you out of cheer and have you do winter, you'll definitely go places. This next thrower has such potential in the next 2 years at the high school. The only thing that I would say gets in her way is herself. If she just has one bad throw and it's the first throw of her 2 events, it almost trickles down. And so we have to tell her what's in the past is in the past. And so you have that potential. You are the only thing getting in your way of where you're going to go. And that is for Anna Drugas. Our next recipient is a sprinter, but will do whatever is asked and wants to run as much as they can, has started picking up long jump. I think next year, if you focus on your sprints, focus on the sprints and your jumping, you're definitely going to be, a 4-event competitor next year. And that goes to Olivia Killingsworth. Our next recipient is a jav thrower and spends, her days working out in the Cape and Park field and then in the weight room. And I would say our jav throwers, sometimes we forget that they're over there. And as we're closing up, we're like, wait a minute, the jav throwers aren't back. And Samantha, you're always one of the last ones in, even when your sister's waiting for you to come back. Next year, you're going to have a phenomenal season. And that is Samantha Packard-Flores. This next athlete, I do want to just take a moment. She has been with us the longest this season. We just finished our Meet of Champions this weekend, and she's only a sophomore and placed, second in the Hawks in high jump, placed 10th in the Division I's for high jump, and, is a top triple jumper. And when we were at the Meet of Champions, she was beside herself. She's like, oh my God, the opening height is my highest height. And I just kept saying to her, this is your warm up for your next 2 years, because you are going to jump high in your next 2 years. And this goes to Star Parham. our next athlete, I'm going to be nice here. And don't take it the wrong way. If she puts the effort in, she is going to go places. She does cross country. She helps out a lot at the finish lines, but I think that when she gets into winter and spring track and she really realizes how good of a jumper she is, and if she can learn to keep the spikes out of her own feet, she will definitely be our top long and triple jumper. Unfortunately, this year at our Taunton meet, which literally came down to our last event, but Gabby, you definitely got us there by jumping what you were jumping at long and triple. We noticed that she's over in the athletic tent, and we're looking at her. She spiked open her shoe and cut up her foot and, had a smile on her face. And so I'm so proud of you, Gabby Pereira. My next athlete is a distance runner, and, we'll do the 1 and 2 mile. And I know at our Bishop Fan North Attleboro tri-meet, poor Laura was the fill-in for the 4x8, thinking that she was all done with her race after the 2 mile, enjoying the sun and her April vacation time. And then in a panic, I'm like, Laura, I need you to run the 4x8. And she was like, okay, coach, and did it happily and helped our girls place first in that race. And I really appreciate everything you've done, Laura Centaurio. And this last athlete, usually our sprinters are, our field hockey players and our soccer players, and I would constantly keep confusing her for one of those athletes, but she's probably one of the great volleyball players here at Attleboro High School who had a great season this year. She is an amazing sprinter. Again, one of our best 100 and 4x1 members of our relay team, puts every effort going forward, will always work on, what can I do to improve my start? What can I do to improve my finish? Fights through injuries. And next year, if you have a healthy season, 100 and 200 is going to be where you're at, and you're going to be helping that 4x1 team. And this goes to Victoria Zaldiva. I messed up. And that's it for girls spring track. And now turn it over to Mr. Houle.
Thank you, Mrs. Sawyer. Again, you heard some great accomplishments this evening, but again, it can't be done without the parents, the coaches, our school administration, central administration, everyone kind of pulling together. We're in a good place right now with our athletic programs and the opportunities that we're providing, and we're very fortunate. So to all of you, congratulations. And what I'd like to do now, before we leave, if everyone that has a varsity jacket, I received a varsity jacket this evening, we're going to have you leave first, and we're going to have you go to the stairs, so we can do a group picture. So as they're walking out, we can give them a round of applause. So varsity jacket winners, come on up. You guys head out right now. Head out to the stairs, and we will do a group photo. Job well done. Yep. Mrs. Campbell's going to go line them up. Great. And once again, parents and family members here tonight, thank you very much, and have a nice evening.